Nowadays, the format industry is quite mature. What is a good format?
There have been defining formats in the format business, and there is a big difference. It's very difficult to spell out between the big hits in the format business and all the wannabes. And there are big hits, and they have, on the whole, been very, very original and haven't really been imitative. And I think that it's the originality, it's those shows that knock your socks off and scare people and are incredibly difficult to sell. I actually think that probably the only thing that defines all the successful shows is how difficult they've been to sell to the initial broadcaster.
In the end, I think audiences just want to see great television, and it's very hard to say from an Endemol perspective, we're going to launch a worldwide format. In the end, it's got to start in the market, it's got to be successful in the market, it's got to be tailored locally as much as we possibly can. And I think all of those I think that localization is going to be a continuing important component to successful shows around the world.
There's an emerging trend in a kind of recessionary times, in a downturn, that viewers want, and also to do with social media, where viewers can communicate about shows much more quickly, and 50% of the young population is using online activity at the same time as watching television, usually talking about television. I think they want to feel that things are not overproduced, that they're not over-manipulated. There's a sort of increasing trend towards connecting directly emotionally with the participants in a show.
A format is a really simple thing. It's a structure which a story is told, and that's really all it is. It should have a fantastic way to start either the show or the series arc. It needs a great middle bit, the great content, the great reality that drives it, and then it needs a fantastic ending. And that's really all a format is. It's a story. A format is a structure for a story, whether it's a game show, whether it's a reality show, or whether it's sort of any sort of format TV has to have that structure.
We all know that viewers nowadays don't only watch television. So how important are interactivity, online applications, new media applications?
Even if you don't build social media functions into a format, social media, viewers are going to find a way to go and use social media to go and interact with it. I think actually this also plays into opportunities to go and sell new ideas. I just cannot help thinking that the next giant format in the world is going to be something which does naturally tie together all of these social media functions online, and it will just exist in the real world and in every virtual world simultaneously. And I think what we're seeing in the States is we're seeing whole networks starting to push. So Bravo, I think, is a very progressive network in the US. And you look at what they're doing online and through Twitter and through all of their stuff, and they are definitely engaging the viewer, engaging the consumer in every single format constantly.
It's inconceivable that you could ever launch a major format on a major network or even on a smaller network without having a full array of new media applications available. Because whilst there are still traditional viewers, and you never want to lose those traditional viewers, that will just be satisfied with the hour or the half an hour that's on in a day or in a week. There's sort of also a large percentage of your audience now which want to live that experience much longer. So it's absolutely essential that your format lives beyond the broadcast time.
In order to be successful in the format business, how important is the size of the company, the scale, the number of production companies you either have an equity stake in or you own, or production partnerships? Is that critical to the successful rollout of a format in multiple territories?
And one of the things that I see from all the production heads, the heads of production around the world, is one thing, is they have a very strong relationship with the broadcast networks, and they're trusted because they can deliver. And that's a really key component in greenlighting a show. It's not just about the format. There's lots of people in this market, in this room, who have got an idea and a format and a Bible. It's about bringing that show to life and persuading the broadcaster that you have the capabilities to do that.
I think it's, scale is important, but it's not really scale for the sake of scale. It's about the quality and the passion and the drive of the creative individuals in each market. And if you haven't got the best producers or the best idea generators, unless it's something very, very simple, you'll never sell it. So it's got to come back to the quality of those people. And there's no point in just having an office in Ulaanbaatar, because you can roll it out there. And I think one of the things that we found, and I'm sure everyone would say, is as a producer, you sell your own product better.
It would be absolutely stupid to just put a flag on every country, just having a name and somewhere. I mean, it's a people's business, and the guy have to be trusted as producers. Otherwise, you won't get nowhere, even with the best formats.
But if I can just go across the panel quickly, what opportunities, what challenges do you see coming up in the next 12 to 24 months?
I think that ultimately the biggest challenge is advertisers becoming, this bubble being created, and advertisers becoming increasingly worried about DVR penetration, the fact as engaged as people are in television programs, that they're not watching the commercials, there's very little engagement in the commercials. I think the opportunity is everything we're seeing in social media, everything we're seeing in interactivity is probably, in there lies the solution to all the problems with advertisers.
I would say challenge is the struggle between working with networks, retaining rights, and trying to develop a business model that works for everybody. I think that's proving to be increasingly a challenge as broadcast networks and cable networks are financially finding it harder. So I think that would be the challenge. The opportunity is, my God, it's the social networking opportunity. It's interacting. It's about taking an experience away from the TV and bringing, I guess, the broadband experience and the mobile experience into the living room and getting the audience to interconnect.
Oh, creativity for sure. If we look at the date of birth of the last big blockbusters, they were all born, let's say, in the early year 2000, and there was nothing really big and new that appeared in the last 5 years. And well, for a company like us, it's. I mean, we're slightly smaller, so we're probably trying harder, and of course, everybody will be looking for the next big one, and that's what we will concentrate on.
Finding and holding on to the best creative talent, putting them at the heart of the company, so they can come up with ideas, and grow the business from there.
I think the biggest challenge is rights, holding on to rights, and the opportunities. I'm a great believer you make your own opportunities. So you do that by your teams, developing, and all the rest of it. So I think I'm looking forward to that. That's all.
Excellent. On that note, thank you all for coming, and please let's give a big hand to our panelists.